My dear students, Assalamu alaikum. I'm Dr. Sibila Ferdowsi, Associate Professor, Department of Physiology. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about the ovarian cycle. The ovarian cycle is actually a part of the menstrual cycle, which is divided into ovarian cycle, which occurs in the ovaries, and the uterine cycle, which takes place in the uterus. So, at the end of the ovarian cycle, we will get a secondary oocyte, which can be fertilized by the sperm. So, there are two phases of the ovarian cycle that we will learn in this lecture, and we shall also know a little bit about the ovarian cyst, the polycystic ovaries, which are very common nowadays. So, before starting, we will let us look at the female reproductive organs. We know that the female reproductive organs consist of a uterus, two fallopian tubes, and the ovaries. And the ovaries are held together in the place by the suspensory ligament and the broad ligament. And the reproductive system is actually consisting of these organs and a network of hormones that function together to create life. So let's start with the ovarian cycle. Ovarian cycle, by definition, we can say that it is the cyclical changes that takes place in the ovary that consist of periodic maturation of a group of primordial follicles, then shedding of the oocyte, and then there is the development of the corpus luteum. So the ovarian cycle has two phases. One is the follicular phase and another one is the luteal phase. And in between these two phases, ovulation takes place. So ovulation is also very important. You have to know how the ovulation is taking place and the proper time of ovulation. And also in the follicular phase, the follicles actually develop and reach the mature stage where it can be discharged when the ovum is discharged into the abdominal cavity. So at the end of the follicular phase, a mature Graafian follicle is formed, and then we have the ovulation, and then we have the luteal phase. In this luteal phase, the corpus luteum is formed. Achha, so now we will go through the different stages of the follicular stage, how the follicles, and at the beginning of the follicle, it is called a primordial follicle, and how this primordial follicle develops under the influence of the follicle stimulating hormone coming from the anterior pituitary gland. And then the mature follicle is the Graafian follicle. So let us see how these follicles are developing. We know that this starts at puberty, and at puberty, under the influence of the gonadotropin releasing hormone from the hypothalamus, it is coming and it is acting on the anterior pituitary to release the follicle stimulating hormone and the luteinizing hormone. And then this follicle stimulating hormone, from the name you can understand that it is acting and stimulating the primordial follicles of the ovary. The primordial follicle is actually the oocyte surrounded by a single layer of granulosa cell, and that is called the primordial follicle. When the follicle stimulating hormone is stimulating this primordial follicle, then the granulosa cells multiplies and forms multiple layer of granulosa cells, and then it is called a primary follicle. So each month the follicle stimulating hormones, it is acting on the primordial follicles and causing rapid proliferation of the granulosa cells, forming multiple layers, and that results in the primary follicle. This primary follicle is actually consist of primary oocyte, which was we know that during the oogenesis, the primary oocyte was arrested at the meiosis 1 stage. So it is the meiosis 1, it is arrested at the meiosis 1 stage. So it contains the primary oocyte surrounded by a zona pellucida, and then we have multiple layers of granulosa cells. So now it is called a primary follicle. And during each of the cycle, about 10 to 15 primary follicles are stimulated, and that goes on onto the next stage where they form a secondary follicles. And this is happening under the influence of the follicle stimulating hormone. Then the secondary follicle, when the secondary follicle develops, then what happens is outside the granulosa cells, the spindle cells forms a layer which is called the theca, and the theca divides into a inner theca and an outer theca. The outer theca forms a vascular capsule, and the inner theca cells secretes estrogen. So now we have two hormones acting on these follicles. One is the follicle stimulating hormone, and also the estrogen, which is now coming from the theca interna cells. Then irregular fluid filled spaces appear in these follicles, and these irregular fluid filled spaces are called antrum. And then all these small antrums coalesce together. That means they combine together and form the antrum folliculi, and the fluid in the antrum is known as liquor folliculi. So now we have a antrum follicle. And then we have two hormones acting, as I have already said. One is the follicle stimulating hormone coming from the anteropituitary gland, and the estrogen, which is coming from the theca interna cells. These two hormones are working together and promotes accelerated growth of the follicles, leading to larger follicles, and this is now known as vesicular follicles. So we see the stages of the follicular development. First we had primordial follicle, then primary follicle, then secondary follicle, then we had antral follicle, and then we have the vesicular follicles. What happens to the ovum? The ovum is now surrounded by the zona pellucida and the granulosa cells, which is known as cumulus oophoros. So before all these vesicular follicles are there, about 10 to 15, and before ovulation, one of the follicles outgrows all the other follicles, and this single dominant follicle is now known as the mature Graafian follicle. So the Graafian follicle, once it is formed, the meiosis 1 is completed, and now we have a secondary oocyte. So once the Graafian follicle is formed, it now contains the secondary oocyte, and this Graafian follicle then proceeds to the stage of ovulation. Ovulation, you know, it means that rupture of the Graafian follicle and discharge of the ovum in the abdominal cavity. So this is ovulation in between the follicular phase and the luteal phase of the ovarian cycle. So if we put a timeline on this, we know that the ovarian cycle consists of 28 days, and we can say that about 13 days we need for the mature Graafian follicle to develop, and then ovulation takes place on the 14th day, and it is actually said 14 plus minus 2 days when ovulation takes place, and after that our luteal phase starts, where the corpus luteum is actually formed. So only one follicle goes into ovulation. So what happens to the other follicles? These other follicles, they involute by atresia. So this is all about the follicular phase of the ovarian cycle. Now let's see what is happening in the luteal phase. In the luteal phase, this is happening after ovulation. So the remaining granulosa and theca cells, they change rapidly into lutein cells, and in the luteal phase, the luteinizing hormone from the anterior pituitary is the main hormone that is acting on these remaining cells, and then these cells, they become vascularized and they are filled with lipid inclusions, and now this process is called luteinization, and this total mass of cell is called corpus luteum, and this corpus luteum secretes mainly progesterone and estrogen. So this is the luteal phase, when we know that the granulosa and theca cells are filled with lipid inclusions, so it gives them a yellowish appearance. So we have to understand these phases of the ovarian cycle, because if you understand the physiology, you will understand the pathology also, where we know that ovarian cyst, how these ovarian cysts are developing. And ovarian cyst or polycystic ovaries are very common nowadays. So what is actually happening when the in the follicular phase, we know that the follicle ruptures and ovulation occurs. So if the follicle does not rupture for some reason, then what happens? The cyst develops. So what is cyst? Cyst is actually a fluid filled sac in the ovary. A fluid filled sac in the ovary is known as an ovarian cyst. So sometimes the follicles do not rupture and they are filled with clear fluid, so then a cyst may develop. Sometimes after the rupture, the corpus luteum again closes and is filled with fluid, so then it is known as a corpus luteal cyst. And these are actually, most of them are functional cysts, and they are actually part of the female monthly cycle, and there is nothing to be concerned about these cysts because they go away within 2 to 3 months, and they are usually painless and harmless. And most of the time we know that these cysts are diagnosed accidentally, and they does not cause much symptoms, but we can diagnose this cyst mainly by ultrasonogram. So now we have seen the different stages of the follicles developing, and we know that sometimes the follicular cyst may develop, sometimes a corpus luteal cyst may develop, and these are functional cysts that we don't have to be much concerned about them, and they go away within 2 to 3 months. And sometimes there is, if the person is suffering from endometrial cyst may develop, which is actually something to be concerned about. And in the endometrial cyst, there is not clear fluid, we have blood collection in the endometrial cyst, and this is called chocolate cyst. So treatment of these cysts actually depends on the person's age, the size and appearance of the cyst, and the sign symptoms. So if the cysts are painless, they does not cause much symptoms, then we don't have to worry about them. But if the cysts may cause severe pain, abdominal pain or back pain, sometimes vomiting, or sometimes there is a feeling of faintness, and then their treatment is given to these female patients. They are given oral contraceptive pills, or if the cyst is too large, then surgery may also be needed. So, and also in the sign symptoms, we know that polycystic ovaries, they cause the symptoms. Cysts are actually secretes hormones, they secretes androgens, and these androgens are responsible for causing acne or increased facial hair, and then there is obesity and infertility. So if you understand how the follicles are developing during the follicular phase of the ovarian cycle, you will know that how these cysts are occurring. And if these cysts are not too large in size, they are less than 8 centimeter, then no treatment is actually needed. So if they are much larger, then we can consider about treatment. So actually these cysts are very common, but we don't have to be too much, we have to be concerned but not over concerned about these cysts. So I hope I could give you a clear idea about this ovarian cycle, and also some of how these ovarian cysts are occurring in these cycles. So thank you, and Allah.